I have great pleasure in welcoming Mr. M Hanif Ajari, Director of Global Export Network at Gets Pharma Pakistan. I am joined by my colleague, Mr. Atif Ahmed, CEO of Supply Chain Rising Pakistan and affiliate for BRASI USA in Pakistan. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for taking out the time today. Hanif Saab, how are you doing today?
Yes, sir.
All okay, all good? Must be very busy.
Yes, everything is fine.
Must be very busy with the monthly export cycle and all that. I hope that
Yes.
you could complete that. Yeah. So I know how busy you are, and so we'll just what I will do here is just share a little bit of presentation to kind of give viewers a flavor of what we're talking about and your credentials. It was impossible to capture all the credentials within a PowerPoint slide, but I've tried my best. But it goes too many slides, so we'll just got to try to catch a gist of it. So I'm gonna go and grab it, and then I will share a screen for that purpose, and then we will close the PowerPoint and just come back to the same discussion mode. So give me 1 second. Welcome again. I will just see what we have in store for us with exciting information and expert insights. This is a part of our series to invite our colleagues and experts from the industry to learn from them, pick their brains basically, and from their experiences for the sake of our students, alumni, and our peers and colleagues generally in the industry. So we share these interviews and panel discussions on our media channels such as the LinkedIn, very popular channel for our group, and our YouTube and other forums. So people can benefit the most maximum from these discussions. Hanif Saab, he has more than 30 years of experience and world-renowned chemical, pharmaceutical, supply chain, and logistics industries businesses. Very broad spectrum of activities and strategic planning, finance, business process management, corporate sustainability initiatives, and more. So all the things that really matter for businesses to succeed and to continue successful, Mr. Hanif Ajari has under his belt. He has been associated with the World Health Organization on public health issues and hospital capacity development, some of which we'll talk to him about those aspects. And he's visiting faculty at IBA, a world-renowned institution, and multiple markets, multiple regions. That's what he brings to the fore with him. And he is also a doctoral candidate at a renowned institute in India, very close to completing his dissertation, I believe, on supply chain management, score, enterprise risk management. These are his topics. And very well regarded in education and corporate training forums, and also engaged in the development of East Africa Aga Khan University Hospital in Kenya and Tanzania. You can imagine that, and there's much more under his belt to his credentials. We just got a little glimpse of it. So that's Hanif Saab. We have the pleasure and the honor of discussing with him and asking a few questions to learn from his experience. That's me, Aftab Khan, Director at BRASI, and Atif Ahmed with me from Pakistan. So let's jump into the questions. We're ready, Mr. Hanif Ajari, shall we?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. With your special interest in social media platforms, building teams and enhancing communication, would you like to share an example where you utilize social media capabilities for a project, as an example?
On social media for a generalized purpose, using like a platform, LinkedIn or Facebook or WhatsApp group may not be advisable, because when you address certain specific crowd and the delegates, then you need to have a Zoom or a Microsoft team. I'm so happy to say that in India, I conduct 2 classes in a month, and that is all on Zoom. And then in Pakistan, wherever I get a chance, I conduct the classes on Zoom network, is specifically dedicated, linked for the delegates who are invited over here. So social media is playing a very, very important role. There is not a single day when I do not put my blog on LinkedIn on
That's
latest
it. Yeah.
subject. And then I also put deliberate on maritimes, because this is one of the most important area where the increasing the freight and disruptive supply chain management is
Mm.
affecting the world today. Then I go on Airline Cargo Association, where I also registered my points. Unfortunately, Aftab Saab, in Pakistan, there is no main shipping line, mothership comes, is sailing ship comes, and then we get connectivity either in Muscat or Port Kelang or Singapore or Noshua in India.
Okay.
So we are, you can say, getting hit with a double edge nowadays.
Mm.
And because of this, our congestion and because of the increase in the freight charges, the rate per container is soaring. And you can understand competing with India, Bangladesh, it's very difficult in this world. And nowadays we are competing with even Egypt because they are very good in the pharmaceutical. They also compete over there. So
Wow.
I go there, registered every day, whatever the post comes. And on Gartner, I love it. One of the best platform for learning supply chain management issue.
Gartner.
So I
Okay.
registered my over there. And there are 3 or 4 sites. One
Okay.
for strategic implementation. I go over there. Then I love quotes. You know, if you can put some quotes, you will
Yeah.
find that I will reciprocate this. The
Mm.
most important thing that I enjoy is SAP community. SAP
Okay.
HANA
Uh,
S400.
yep. Yep.
And on this, there are many topics that are covered. FICO is covered, plant maintenance is covered, MRP is covered, and the links of all this package, how it is affecting on supply chain management. Now, if anybody consider that he's doing supply chain management without having a backup of enterprise model, I
Right.
don't think it is possible.
That's true.
So I get connected over there. I get in thrill also, particularly when I get positive comments from a lot of people outside Pakistan. It is also lovable, and we also run. The other most one important thing I never forget is Ram Charan. Whenever he put his blogs, I also comment over there. We try to exchange the notes as well, what is happening. Nowadays, he is talking too much about the issues in United States of America and what are the couple of issues that will hold the election to go. So a variety is there.
Mm.
I
Absolutely.
today
So,
have put in
yeah.
Haldiram. I have put in Haldiram blog
Okay.
also over there,
All right.
that how this company is valued. It's a, it's a love to see 8 billion
Wow.
Indian rupees are valued, and they are selling 51% stake to the
Wow.
foreign companies of the similar type.
Wow.
So the things are learning over here.
Two legendary companies. I will quote two from Pakistan. Tapal Tea, right? Grew from Jodia Bazaar to multinational business. And
Yes,
Shan Masala. I mean, there's no grocery store across the world which has
yes,
a
they
Indian
are not
Pakistan
here. Yes, yes,
community, Southeast Asia community who does not carry Shan Masala. Again, from a plastic stapled pouch on
yes.
Sunday market to multinational companies. So really, with you have stories like that, Ambani
Mm.
Group, you can imagine that
And
they
they are
started
also
from.
inching. They are also inching with national food as well,
Yes,
Mehran
yes,
food as well.
yeah.
So there
So
is a lot of
yeah,
competition over there.
you
But
mentioned
Mr.
Professor.
Aftab, exporting a one piece of a tablet to any market in the world required lot of compliances, if
That's
I can
regulation.
say.
Oh, absolutely. That's
This is an unbelievable.
different ball game, totally different ball game. So much compliance to the requirements,
Mm.
regulation. So yeah, just to not interrupt you, but you mentioned Professor Ramcharan. I have had the honor of being with him in a class in UK in Unilever Institute of Management, UMI MTC, back in 90s when he came flew in from US and delivered a lecture. What an amazing person! I'm really. pleasure to listen to him. Every word is full of wisdom. So thanks for that little mention. I'll definitely like to connect with him. So in a nutshell, if I summarize your response, Adib, you utilize social media for communication and education depending on the scope, the audience, and the subject, right? Of
Yes,
course, you would like to educate people on open media like such as LinkedIn or other that you
yes,
mentioned, course and SAP community, S4HANA community. And but when it comes to business, of course, you like to channelize it to
yes.
select group of people. That's amazing. Thank you so much for your insight. And with that, I would like to go to the next question if you're okay with that.
Yes,
So yeah, so you are also director at GS1 Pakistan, which is like
yes, I love it.
very
Mr.
high
Aftab, you
technology.
know it very well. Whenever
Yeah,
you ask any smoker, what is the supply chain? He will say from seeds to smoke.
wow.
If you will ask any milk company that what is the supply chain, he will definitely say from cow to pond.
Right,
When
right,
you
right,
ask any pharmaceutical guy who is involved right from the molecule development
right,
till the product at the bed of the customer,
right.
he will definitely say compliance and giving the patient high quality medicine. It is the
Absolutely,
requirement today. So
absolutely.
definitely it can only be possible if you have a serialization in place.
Full
That a
tracking. Yep.
product which goes to the customer, there are many ways by way of which the product is recalled, authenticity of the product have to be vouched. Very unfortunate in our country is spurious and fake drugs are amply available. I
Right.
cannot, I will not be a good judge to put in percentage, but definitely
It's
lot
unfortunate.
of
Yep.
medicines are fake in this country, and due to the non-availability of a product, importation of a product. Can I tell you for a chemotherapy, people get the product through a smuggle chain where you will not get the warranty of the product by the manufacturer, and we perform the chemotherapy in this country.
Just imagine.
So there is a lot of opportunity available there. The time for a generic supply chain management, logistics management, custom regulated supply chain management, financial supply chain management, and the compliance supply chain management accredited by EMEA, MHRA, WHO is the essential needs for today's professional to practice and follow those guidelines which
Absolutely.
provided by ICHS guideline and US FDA 21 CFR Part 11 Chapter 7 compliance. If all these things are integrated into your SAP, then there is a no
Yeah.
need to deviate from there. You understand? SAP will
Of
not
course.
allow you to move out of this. That's why,
Yes. Yeah.
if I can tell you that despite this worst condition, Gets Pharma's export is progressing year to year at 40%.
Yes. We heard about that, and Guess Pharma is
And
just a
we have
success
an
story.
export of
Yeah.
120 million US dollar
Wow.
out of the country's total export of 300. So
Just
we are
imagine.
already holding 33%.
Yes, yes. I had the opportunity to talk to an expert on exports, and Guest Pharma was mentioned. He said, "Wow, that's the leading company in, and
Yes,
it's a model." He said it's a model. And I
yes.
remember talking to you about that beforehand, and you said that you like us to come and visit your facility because it's a
I
gem.
love that you
Yeah,
and Atif or anybody else comes.
definitely.
I
So
guarantee you, first of all, you should have an energy to walk that much.
we'll try
1,440,000
to.
square feet area of our Astola
Wow,
plant,
wow,
LEEDs certified, mean leaders in engineering and supply chain, green supply chain plant is there.
wow,
There is no wastage of water. And
wow.
if you will just walk through, you will say that you are walking in a highly qualified plant. And
Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
are
yeah.
among the three, but we were the first WHO qualified company in Pakistan.
Wow.
And
And that
WHO
reminds me.
qualified accreditation, sorry to say,
Yes.
accreditation or whatever the certification we get, we practice in products. And practicing that in products, you need to have an integrated system
Yeah.
and seamless integration that will not allow you to
Yeah.
deviate from the standards that
And
is required for that market.
exactly, and that's just our TQM philosophy, that we teach to students.
Yes.
You do not rely on inspection, you build
Mm.
quality into the product when you're making
Yes.
it. So they know not much reliance on
Yes.
accept reject philosophy, but you already have the product quality so that you can rely on it. So that reminds me when we were putting up the ice cream plant in near Lahore for Unilever, and the standard for hygiene was that the floor should be so clean that you can eat ice cream off the floor. That was the quality standard. I mean,
Yes.
there's no room for any germs, any just whatever. So I can imagine, I can relate to that philosophy and approach. So yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, sterilization tracking is the key to counter spurious drugs in a very positive way.
Yes.
And of course, every level of government and other agencies have to do their role, which of course must be following it. But as businesses, the
But
more
after some,
technology
why we ask
implement.
everything the government to do it? Because we as a company, we as a society have to initiate something.
I was coming to it. I
Yesterday
mean,
we
they
has
have
a
every.
Zoom meeting,
I mean, they have.
On GS1,
Okay,
and now I will be going with their representative to the Ministry of Health, and then we will be meeting the trade bodies over there to bring them aligned over there. Can
wonderful.
you believe it? The export, we are doing it to 40 countries. And only in Pakistan, there is no barcoding. But in all other countries, we have to supply
Yeah,
through a barcoding. And in our system, you are going to see in a flash of an eye that where is the batch number so and so products in
yep,
Philippine, Manila, in which pharmacy.
full tracking. When you have the RFID code, you know exactly
Hmm.
how the product is traveling, where it is received and
Yes,
consumed. That's the beauty of tracking. So I was mentioning that every entity has their own role. Governments have their own,
yes,
but the businesses have technology on their side. So where they implement technology and it drives the initiative, and others have no option but to follow it, because when you implement rules like that, you have regulations to follow. We take the lead as business, and of course everybody else comes along. So that's a wonderful feedback from you that Pakistan is doing what it can in terms of compliance and regulation. Otherwise you won't be exporting to 40 countries, period, right?
and
That's
in
important.
Pakistan, we are, you can understand, number one. And
Yep. Yeah.
this year, we will be striking the bell and hope everything goes all right. By December, the first pharmaceutical company to touch upon the sale of 140 billion.
Wow, that's amazing,
So
mind-boggling.
this will be the
Wow.
first 100 billion crossing company in Pakistan.
Wow.
And that cannot be possible without the support of systems.
Absolutely, and especially with export business, because the world
Yes,
is looking at
yes,
it,
sir.
and you have to meet all the standards globally, not just locally.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your input, and it's amazing, very inspiring, I would say. Those are my two questions from me. So I'll come back again, but meanwhile, Adisab, you have anything
Yeah,
to ask
I
Mr. Hanif?
have Hanifa. I have a couple of questions with you.
Gigi.
So you are you are a lead faculty with the WHO World Health Organization,
Yes, sir.
especially for the capacity development of hospital managers. So
Yes.
how you are going to educate them what the capacity development entails actually, and any specific areas with respect to that?
We are into 23 countries that assignment.
Okay.
23 countries are lower income or middle income countries, and most of them are coming from Africa, Sudan, South Sudan, everywhere. We get very well connected, and the course which we offer, creating a sustainability in the public health sector and developing the hospital managers, is a
Okay.
subject. There are 7 modules in that program, which we serve in 7 days' time. It is on Zoom, but we provide them all the exercise, case study, and everything. And if you will allow me, I have just requested them. We will offer the same course on your platform, and I will
Wow,
conduct that course with
that's so
both of
welcome.
your support. And it will be a
That's
marvelous. And I will just tell them that if you can give us a WHO certification
We
for
look
the
forward to it.
participation,
We
he
look
can.
forward
wow.
to it.
That's
Absolutely.
This is really a learning. It's a start from the mission statement, value statement, for the hospital and public sector. You know very well, everybody talks when I go to supply chain management side, supply chain management and disruptive supply chain management
Yeah.
and resilient supply chain management.
Yeah.
But there are very few people who talk on the specialized field, like in health, correct? Or
Right.
like a food, or like a
Yes.
distribution. For instance, distribution of a product without following good distribution practices as per ICHS guideline, you perform, your product is spoiled before it is
Yeah,
going to the customer, an ultimate customer. Can you believe it? In the month of May, tomato ketchup goes in a Suzuki without, you can say, canopy on this. So
I
by the
know.
time you take it, then Aga Khan Hospital is always available to entertain you. So this type of the things are need to be controlled. And I
Yeah.
really enjoyed very well because you can understand I belong to a medical practitioner family. I hope if everything goes all right, my brother will bring the Nobel Prize for Pakistan. Diseased kidney can be recovered and there will be no needed for dialysis. My
We
daughter
wish
is
him success.
practicing
Absolutely.
cardiologist in Australia. You know, the total landscape of the pharmaceutical market have changed. Till
Hmm.
last year, it was said that oncology will be the number one therapy in the world. Then there
Wow.
was our diabetes. Now weight loss has become the number one therapy in
Yeah,
the
you
world.
can see the
Yeah.
medicines that
Yes,
are coming from weight
yes,
loss are
yes, sir.
huge. The range of
Yeah.
the business. Yeah.
Mozambique and Vigovo,
Yep.
you know, they
Yep.
have changed it,
Right.
everything.
Right.
So, and in hospital, like for instance, if you just ask Burger King that what is your supply chain model, they will say we make your way. But
Yes.
McDonald, we cooked it and you take it, whatever you want it. So there is a change in the make to order and make to stock concept. In
Yeah.
hospital,
Exactly.
there is a supply chain for communicable disease and non-communicable disease.
Yes. Different
Communicable
streams.
disease are pandemic, you know.
Right.
Non-communicable disease is cardiology, TB. I'm so grateful to Allah that to couple of years back, I worked with the Global Fund and WHO on a project in Pakistan on anti-TB. It was purely a supply chain, how the product is available, how the warehouse is carried out. And we released $550 million for Pakistan. You know, in
Imagine.
Pakistan, TB is the number one disease,
Yeah.
killing
Unfortunately, it
disease
is
in
still is. Yeah,
Pakistan. Yes.
because health conditions are so bad in certain places. So that's a very interesting. Yeah. Go Atif Saab, please.
I
Yeah.
also
As
want
you
to conduct
mentioned,
one
this is,
seminar after
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
on your platform that how the public health sector in Pakistan operates and what are the difficulties and pitfalls in that.
We look forward to it. We have a panel discussion on that. Definitely. We'll. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So coming back to another question with respect to keeping into your experience or rich experience, particularly with respect to the air cargo within Pakistan and the global
Yes.
markets. So, what do you think? Are there any areas that need to get the attention?
I have worked with Lufthansa Airline
Wow,
and with
great.
Lufthansa Cargo, I was involved in the activities that was starting from New Delhi to Sydney. And
Okay.
you notice it very well that Lufthansa Pharmaceutical, when we used to say Lufthansa Pharmaceutical, people used to consider from sky we may throw some medicine. No, how to specifically handle the product up to
Right.
the patient bed on an
Uh-huh.
environmental. On an environmental container, you have a possibility of controlling the product temperature 2 to 8 for
Right.
78 hours. Let's consider from Alaska to Riyadh. If a flight goes over there, the belly temperature goes beyond the control, it's 56. And from Alaska, it is minus. So, how to manage and deliver the products?
Right.
You notice it
Yeah.
very well that I was very much actively involved in the distribution of vaccines. When the
Wow.
pandemic situation came, Pfizer was needing minus 80,
Right.
Moderna was needing 40, and China was needing about minus 20. It
Wow.
was very unfortunate that the country was lacking in all the cold chain temperature control warehousing as well as delivery to the hospital. But thanks God that we did manage and survive in that area, and
Very
there was no
challenging.
major issue occurred in Pakistan as occurred in India. So supply chain management is an integrated one.
It is.
Best benchmark practices
Yes.
followed by the molecule developer till the patient bed. This is the system, you can say business blueprint documents is implemented in SAP.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
This
your
is the point.
standard of
This is the key point.
of
Yeah.
Oh,
performance. Yep.
yes, yes.
Very good.
Sir, I can just ask you one question. You take
Absolutely.
product A, correct, from the pharmacies.
Mhm.
In Pakistan, you may find 40 companies are producing. Or if you just confine to 10, you get the impurity profile checked of those products. I bet you will not get it. We are the only company which tests impurity profile, and all our products are biosimilar and bioequivalent. So that's why we have a window for the exporting to any regulated market in the world. At the
That's
moment,
amazing.
we are in semi-regulated markets, but now in 1 year or 2 years, we will be definitely into regulated market by getting ourselves qualified. So you can say MHRA standard, EU standard.
Mhm.
If you will qualify, then there will be no problem at all. And if I
Wonderful.
can just tell you one dossier, which is called CTD dossier, which
Yeah.
is used for the registration of a product. That is also built in into quality module of an SAP.
Ah,
And this, you can say, you have asked me, I think, Atif have asked me, what blockchain you can do it for that purpose, correct?
Yeah.
When this module, that one dossier costs you minimum $250,000 and the maximum $500,000. You know you are investing in a product
yep.
where you are still not sure whether you are going to recover that money or you are going to get a required rate of return.
But those are necessities to do business, especially in pharmaceutical.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's investment you
yes,
just can't say no to. That
yes,
absolutely. From my experience, also we have to invest to maintain and continuously improve the quality service and product service to the patients. That's the
yes,
absolute minimum.
yes,
Yeah. One important more area is that about the risk management side. Everybody notices that there has been a lot of emphasis, particularly in the wake of COVID-19 situation. So,
yes.
what do you think? How do you rank top three risks that can be associated with the pharmaceutical supply chain in Pakistan?
In Pakistan,
Yeah,
pharmaceutical or health sector,
yeah,
number one is the maintenance of the required standard of material handling quality. Number two, after the production, how the products meet the international standard requirement. Number three, that the product which you are supplying and carrying the packaging content are as per the standard in the world, because Pakistan temperature, humidity sometimes is very difficult. There are two in pharmaceutical maintenance of a product. It is called cold chain and it is called cool chain. There is a difference. Cold
Mhm.
chain means 2 to 8 or minus even, and cool chain maximum up to 28.
Excursions could be very common in that case, right?
Very well.
Oh,
And particularly insulin. We are the largest producer of insulin, the only company in Pakistan which produce over 100 million vials. And maintaining this insulin under the proper temperature control requirement is necessary.
yeah, that brings to that you mentioned the risk. I'm sorry, I'm just want to
Yes,
interject, but the thing is that supply chain doesn't mean it doesn't end until the product is consumed safely by the patient. And any break before that is compromised, right?
mm,
So that's the issue. All through
yes,
supply chain from manufacturing, right when it comes out of the manufacturing plant and to the cold chain, into the cold chain, then the transportation,
mm,
warehouse and distribution, clinic or hospital, and until it is
yes.
consumed or used by the patient. Yeah.
over to you,
And
Asaf.
as I told you, when you put SAP, In Pakistan, more than 350 sites, not for pharmaceutical, but other
Yeah,
companies are also using.
many
And
more. Yeah,
Atif, you might be also using. I always say SAP, if you want to drive just to come out with the trial balance, or if you want to drive 737 on Bandar Road, then don't take it.
right.
SAP is an anatomy which
Yeah,
run your organization. When I say run your organization, run your supply chain management.
right. It brings with it the processes, the business processes,
Yes,
and that's what you have to follow. You have to become disciplined. You have to maintain. It's not just a set of algorithms. It's actually a business
yeah.
philosophy. You have to follow it. That's
And
great.
as I told you, that best benchmark practices followed in the world,
Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
exactly.
SAP can provide you.
And that's what the slogan is. Best
Yes,
run businesses run SAP. So
yes.
I've been SAP consultant, like
Mm,
enthusiast user, super user for decades, and I know what it's
yes.
talking about. You mentioned uh, trial balance, right? That brings me
Mhm.
to my next question. Uh, Supply chain professional. Now that's I'm talking about our students and peers across industry. So we come from different backgrounds. Supply chain managers
Yes, sir.
are from engineering, from commerce, from accounting,
Yes.
from IT. But we need to have so we that's what education does. We bring all of them to common understanding, common
Yes.
concepts, practices, terminology, so we can communicate accurately when we make decisions. So a very important area that I haven't understood is finance and accounting. So supply chain professionals, do you think that should have a good understanding of finance and accounting, how their actions on the shop floor in the warehouse they impact the income statement and balance sheet? That should they have that understanding?
I have to use one quote.
Okay.
And the quote is when the matter of the money comes, religion of everybody is same. So
Okay.
you
Yes.
cannot avoid finance with the supply chain management.
Absolutely.
Germany has come up with the supply chain in finance. Is an
Right.
unbelievable model.
Wow.
When you go
Amazing.
for finance, can you cross border nowadays in the world without having the knowledge of negotiable instrument? Just tell me how
Yeah.
many universities are having a negotiable instrument in their curriculum,
In the
like
training.
LC,
Yeah.
bill of
Yeah.
lading, certificate of
Right.
analysis, certificate of origin, everything. It is a visa. You cannot cross the border. And the same thing when it comes out from your system, then the possibility is there. You know, every company has an ooze and oot. Ooze mean out of specification and out of trend. You
Mhm.
have to correct that thing through an kappa model, kappa SNFP, and
Right.
then built in over there.
Right.
Whenever you will come to my system and you will go to quality, you will find all these things available over there. And
Right.
when your spectrophotometer and HPLC talk directly with your system, that
Mhm.
you are having an integrated supply chain management.
Wow. And that was a need that drove the development of the supply chain finance course, which BRASI
Mm.
presents proudly, and our researchers, Jürgen and Rudy and all of my colleagues, they were really adamant to introduce a course for supply chain managers, not to make them accountants, no, that's a different
Yes,
field, but to have enough understanding how your actions, your decisions impact
yes,
your absorption of overheads and your loss
yes,
sizing, and also that's very critical. So
yes.
thanks very much for validating that thought. And then in the same,
And first of all,
yeah,
sir, when you
yeah,
cannot control your input cost, ultimately
absolutely,
you cannot control your output cost.
yes, you cannot,
Now, this is a time of a competition. So you should have a target costing. You
exactly.
should have a ownership of the costing of a product.
Right.
For that purpose, you need to have a thorough knowledge of customs.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. In our
Just
module
come
three,
up
and
with me.
yeah,
I will take you for an audit
yeah,
for any company you wanted to have it. If you just verify their master material file or master file for employees, that are not updated. So you
hmm,
can understand on old version, you can run whatever it is run, but you are not following the standard and you can say the protocol that is prescribed. You know, nowadays the WHO consultant or MHRA consultant or Japanese authorities, we carried out 40 audits 40 countries you export their auditors comes.
Yeah, they'll come and check you.
First of all,
Exactly.
they straight away go to SAP in the quality control department. They remove all and they verify it from there. And from there, they decide what is the area they are going to cover in supply chain.
Yeah, so that's what they point us to a system
Yes.
of record, what's going
Yes, sir.
on. Exactly. And great you mentioned the thing about target costing. That's the topic in our syscom course, that, and a lot of accountants don't get that. But the thing is, in today's world, like you said, cost is not your choice. It's driven by competition.
Yes.
Price in the market, I don't decide my product price. I'm told by the market what people can afford. They have all the leverage, the competition out there. So what I'm left with, like you said, is input cost. So
Awesome.
input cost with a target given by the market, what
Yes.
margin you have remaining for the contribution margin. That's what we teach our students. You have to work with the cost given to you and try to maximize the margin by playing with the costs. That's your
As
leverage.
I told you, that cost leadership, correct?
Yeah.
I use the word cost leadership.
Exactly.
Cost leadership doesn't mean that with compared to my other competitor, my price is lower. No. As compared to the specific standard requirement of the WHO, a British pharmacopoeia, US pharmacopoeia, a product needs to contain, that how optimal level of the costing I can do. I use the word bioequivalence and biosimilar. If your product is on this, and if you have a certification of WHO on certain products, you cannot say change the source of API. Remember one thing.
Yep. It's regulated. Yep.
You cannot change it, because then you need to, even if Aftab and Atif are working in the same company, but Atif is in Pakistan and you are in USA, I'm importing the product, the same API from USA, then I decided, because the freight costs and other things are going to increase, I will go to Atif. Then I have to establish Atif as a new vendor.
You're
And in
requalified.
order to get yourself selected as a new vendor, this is
Yep.
an Herculean task for
Yeah,
any
absolutely.
company to qualify.
Yes. Those are constraints that really drive supply chain for pharmaceuticals and other areas. That's amazing.
Not so
Yeah.
pharmaceutical,
Yeah.
public health and health
Public.
sector.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
if you go and see Aga Khan's supply chain management, you will love to see that how nicely they are following. In Pakistan, there are only 3 hospitals which are JCEI compliant, Joint Commission International USA compliance. One is Aga Khan, one is PNS Shifa, and one is Shaukat Khanum. So
Oh, just
people
imagine.
say, oh, they charge more, everything. But for the life, I think this is the best institution where you can go.
Yeah. There's a cost
Just tell me, if
for
you are going to
quality.
Lahore from Karachi,
No
and at
shortcuts.
the
Yeah.
time of the final check, at the door of an aeroplane, the guy tells you that there is a 2% chance that instead of Lahore, we may find you somewhere in Rahim Yar Khan. You will climb, you will come
Of
back.
course not.
So why we avoid that thing when we join to some hospital for the treatment, that are we going to get the best treatment?
Yeah. That brings me to your doctoral candidacy and the topics of your research. Which one is of the greatest interest to you and why?
Uh, you know, till I die, research will be my addiction. And research is the biggest addiction one have to carry out.
It's a commitment. Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm working very closely on a supply chain, how it is followed in the international market for non-communicable disease.
Okay.
How regularly and sustainably this product can be supplied in the same quality that is supplied in the advanced countries of the world. For that purpose, you have to study a lot. Mr. Aftab,
Yes.
my all children are married. Now, me and my wife, I
God
got a
bless.
very good time, that a good reading time is available to me. And I think that whatever the life is left, I must utilize it in enlightening first myself, then my delegates.
We wish you a very long and healthy and prosperous life.
Yes, sir.
And of course, your commitment, your dedication to learning and sharing knowledge is par none. I'm really this very inspiring uh, career you have. and you're still contributing. I'm
Up till
surprised
my
how
age of 35, I was the finance director of two multinational companies, let me tell you,
imagine. Yeah.
and on group level.
Wow.
And finance was my buddy. But this finance has given me an edge that why I should not perform on supply chain management. After
Exactly.
all, sir, finance has become the discipline of monitoring. Why
Yes.
I should not be a part of the processing where I can control the
Right.
ROI and I can produce the ROI for my company.
Exactly. See, finance and supply chain are so well blended together. I'll let you an example.
Very well.
I was
And none of
working.
the university is teaching that subject, sir.
Oh,
None of the university is teaching supply chain, custom regulated supply chain.
yeah.
One of the other important thing that Mr. Aftab, I have worked it, and very nicely now it is already ready, that I'm working tax incentive supply chain management, by
Oh,
way
just
of
imagine.
which I'm not evading the tax, I'm avoiding the tax within
Yes.
the compliance.
There's so much money to be
Yes,
really materialized there, but if we don't know it, how can we achieve it?
yes.
The knowledge is the key. Wow. So that's your topic. Well, that's amazing. Like I said, I mean, your multifaceted expertise in many areas, your cross industry experience, global experience. You are such valuable to the economy and to your business. It's really we really wish that you continue your journey of successes and sharing your knowledge with everybody. And like you mentioned, we look forward seriously to work on a project to add a more focused industry segment-wise topics to our training program. Definitely would like to hear from you on that. This is so interesting that
For instance, very recently, came, no? I
right.
will be sharing you with my research article,
Uh-huh.
the efficacy of supply chain and logistics management in Muharram.
Wow, that's amazing.
Nobody covered that thing.
How can
Nobody
nobody can
covered
even
that
think
thing.
about it? It's so unique.
Have you ever studied the supply chain management module of Lazzat Papad?
I don't think so.
Do you know how much Lazzat Papad export in the world? From typical Gujarat, 10 billion Indian rupees.
Really? Wow.
Really. And you know what a community-based program it is?
Yes,
A
that
family goes
I have
over
some
there,
idea.
they
Yeah.
can collect, yes, starch from
Right.
there, and
Right.
then they make the papad and they deliver in the evening and they get the money.
Right. And then from there on,
And the
yeah, I
same
know.
module is for Patel shoes.
Yeah, I know about that model. Yeah, that's a microfinancing combined with
Yes, sir.
global businesses. They're beautiful integration of local microfinancing, supply chain, and integrated to global business.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. This is so interesting and full of knowledge and valuable lessons for all of us. We would love to continue, but there is a time limitation, so we'll have to conclude today's session. But we look forward to staying connected with you, Ajari Saab, and we'll look forward to having you on board with our panel discussions and
Yes,
more
sir.
into like the discussion
I
like this
love
through.
to have this thing, and I wanted to request you that at least in a month on digital canvas, we can conduct couple of, you can say for 2 hours
Yeah.
program in which we discuss the current topics.
Right.
Nowadays, disruptive profile in the world global market have made many company completely closed now,
You know. Yeah.
and nobody talks about
Yes.
Red
Yeah.
Sea complications.
Right. Right.
Just
Right.
have to tell you, Merck is having a performance efficiency of 68%.
You
Mean
can imagine.
32% at your cost, you are piling up your inventory at
Right.
your plant.
And who's gonna pay that? Customers,
Detolite
consumers.
Hapage as a 75.
Yeah.
We are so behind that we are not even near to 2012 when the efficiency of each shipping line was soaring over 90%.
Right. Mhm.
And you notice the freight and the lead time. If
Yeah.
I'm sending some consignment to Africa, I have to take around. It will be
Yeah.
45 or 50 days
Yeah.
time. Earlier it
Exactly.
was 15 or 50
Yep.
Lead
days
time is
time.
increasing. Yeah.
Have you noticed, sir, carbon
Yeah.
emission? Unbelievable.
Yep. And
So the
also,
things are,
sorry. Yeah, also consider, I guess, in pharmaceutical, each day of additional lead time will reduce your remaining shelf life for the customer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If
You
you are
take away,
sending the finished product.
yeah, finished product, of course, yeah. So you are
Yes.
taking away, you're stealing the shelf life from the distributor and from the hospitals, from the
Mm.
patients. It's so amazing and so uh, universally encompassing. I mean, we just
That is a
look at
complete anatomy, sir.
it is, it is. You look at
It is a
the
complete anatomy.
yeah, we look at one aspect, we think about geopolitical issues and all that. Yeah, some delays. No, if you drill down, in the end, the world is paying for it, the customer is
Mm.
paying for it, our tax dollars are paying for it. So we have to really pay attention to those
Normally,
issues.
people says you cannot have a change without growth, and you cannot have a growth without change.
Yes,
Ideally, you are growing with the growth of the company, and that can only be possible if we make change and adopt whatever the latest policies and systems are being made in the world.
absolutely.
Rightly said.
Thank you so much for this uh, really insightful discussion. I'd like to again thank you very much, and with a deep desire and wish to continue looking at seeing you in our forums and gaining from your knowledge and your wisdom.
Thank you, Anusha. Thank you
Thank you,
very
sir,
much.
very much for an opportunity.
Well, this brings us to the conclusion of our discussion today. On behalf of the BRASI team, I thank Mr. M Hanif Ajari for sharing his knowledge and insights, and I'm sure that our viewers will gain immensely from it, and we look forward to your continued participation. Thank you and goodbye.